So this is the second and final installment of the Run and Shoot Offensive Playbook series for Madden 18, where we go over some really nice deep passing concepts in order to A, stretch the field vertically for one-play touchdowns or huge gains, and B, start to open up things underneath like short to medium passing or, the run game. In the last video, we broke it down for cover 2. I gave a few really nice concepts in order to stretch those safeties wide, to beat them wide because they're not able to stretch far enough. And in this video, we're going to do, similar things except for cover 3 and cover 4. So we won't really waste too much time going over things. If you haven't seen the cover 2 video, I'd definitely go check that out first. There are a lot of nice background and theory and a lot of smaller things that will help your game out here. But we'll just jump right into it. So like the last one, we'll go over 3 main concepts that'll really work as the fundamental base for your offense. And then from there, depending on how much you're willing to work for it in practice mode, you can make it as complex and extensive as you like. With, you can work in some of your own concepts or explore some of these other plays. But the 3 that we'll go over here, they all happen to be in pistol, but it just happens to work out that way. It actually doesn't even have to be in pistol. You can make some of them work in the other formations, but it's just a matter of... So for example, the first one will go into trips left open, and the play is called outs, where we won't have to make too many audibles. So we have that nice 10-yard out route on the side there. We have a seam from the number 2 receiver to clear out any slot defenders, and then we have a nice post route on the weak side that we can work into once things start to open up on that side. Again, the theory of this offense is that we really want to stretch every corner of the field, just like how the top professional Madden players are using a lot of bunch, because it can attack the deep left, deep right, deep center, all the shallow areas, everywhere. So we're trying to do something similar, except out of a different formation, different looks that people aren't really used to. So we'll get into outs, and we'll show this for cover 3 and cover 4. We'll start with cover 3 out of the 3-4 odd. So what you see here, you have, in this case, it's almost a 15-yard out, which is nice because you get a few extra yards. But I would actually smart route that back to 10 yards, just because the longer that route is, the more time the slot defender has to get out there and undercut it. If you are coming up against, and we know for cover 3 and cover 4, if they don't coverage adjust their slot linebackers or their nickel and dime corners, they will get preoccupied by that seam route from Ginn, and we'll be able to throw that out route. So it'll look something like that. Now that was kind of close. That Sean Taylor is a really good card. So something just like that. Now that won't happen too often, because really most of the times you're either coming up against the cloud flats, or in short yardage you're coming up against the hard flats. But even though with these cloud flats, they're going to sink right under that out route, and you won't be able to throw it. So you'll get something like that. But at the same time, if they're running cloud flats, that slot receiver, Ted Ginn, is going to run free. So there's no jam or anything like that. Now, I think most people, including myself, aren't taking full advantage of that. Meaning that if we have somebody really speedy like Ginn, and then a quarterback with a lot of arm strength, we should be able to fit it in there. So unfortunately, what I'm going to show you here the one play touchdown here only really works against cover 3 press and cover 4 press, which a lot of people actually do. So if it's just something that looks like this, it won't work out. Mind you, with off coverage, if you remember one of my older videos, you always have this option. So if you're so inclined, you can audible to that. And what's great about this playbook is that you can really audible to any single formation because the personnel is the same. So whether you're in single back trips, gun spread, or pistol trips, you can audible between the two, between all of them, because you have 4 wide receivers and 1 running back. So that's nice. But anyway, back to this. So if you come up against press, actually we'll move this safety back, and they are running cloud flats like most people do, we should be able to get this Ted Ginn Jr. for a one play touchdown to that deep left corner there. So it'll look something like this. So he's going to run free. And if you hit him, he's going to score. So let's go back, press, make sure our free safety is still in the play. We don't want to make it totally unfair. Okay, tag in. So just like that. So obviously it won't work against off coverage because that cornerback will actually be able to get there in time. So that'll look something like this. And you're gonna get picked. So don't run it in that case. If you want your one play touchdown, then audible to that glitchy lob pass. But otherwise, again, if you come up against press coverage, well, if it's curl flats, by the way, that's what you're going to want to watch. If your Ted Ginn doesn't get free, or whoever you have there, has to be somebody really speedy. If they don't get free because the slot jams them, we know that 10-yard Calvin Johnson route is going to get open. So it's really pick your poison here. Either they're going to allow the 10 yards or the 50-yard touchdown. In that case, I was controlling the free safety. He wasn't able to get there. So let's just make that a bit more fair. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you're going to have to live with just getting 50 yards. But that's nice. Okay, so that's the case for cover 3. You can also do it against cover 4. The throw is a bit tighter. So if we go to cover 4 drop show 2, and we go back to pistol trips left open and outs, exact same setup. And we'll have to actually press this. I don't think it works against the show 2. I think even at 5 yards is enough to catch up. Okay, press coverage. And Ginn is free. Okay, so add that to your list of shot plays. So you have at least 2 that I showed you in last video. I showed you 1 here. You can add that to the off coverage bomb, the lob bomb that I showed you in a previous video for cover 3, cover 4 off coverage, and then also you can do it against cover 2. So if you haven't seen those videos, definitely go find those. So you have that. Now, once things start to tighten up towards the left, if you have the off coverage there, you can't throw that bomb, and they're running the cloud flats, you can't really run that 10-yard out. Well, you can start to work in this post route here, which is actually, I like it a lot. And we'll start it again against the cover 3. So cover 3 sky. And I think it's better to run it to the field. What you want to do is just put your running back on a curl route. So that's going to suck in any of the hook curl linebackers there, and then we'll be able to throw that Carmichael route over top of them. Also, if you want to drag Brown as an extra option, if you want to throw it underneath or to suck those linebackers even further, you can do that. So it'll look something like this. So you should be able to get 10 yards or so every single time. And even against cloud flats, let me get off of this guy. You just have to wait a bit longer. And actually, if we want, we could put Brown on a streak to clear that safety a bit. So just to give us a bit more room. So just like that. Now, obviously, you'll want to keep an eye on that user linebacker, make sure he's not going to drift underneath that Carmichael route. This is something you're going to like throw into every now and then. Won't be your bread and butter. Okay, and then against cover 4, you can still squeeze that in, but it's a bit harder that strong safety can really jump on that ball. So you're probably better off with just running the in route. But yeah, that one can be tight as well. Okay, so we'll move to the exact same formation, but we're going to go to this play, if I can find it, inside switch. You can do inside switch or you can do inside cross. Actually, the inside cross might be better. I'll go to cover 3 sky. Yep. So what we want to do is get that Calvin Johnson, that post ride open. The one thing you can always do is just put Ginn on a flat. And that's all you need to do. He's going to be open. Oops. Forgot that this was 3-4. You have to run it a bit differently. So similar thing to the outs play where you have the post from the weak side, but I think you just get a little bit more spacing here. See how things really clear up there? Now if we run this to the boundary, I think it's better to slant Brown rather than have him on the drag route. I think that takes that middle linebacker a bit better. And we can also motion in Carmichael and put him on a streak. So what that'll do is that'll draw the free safety a bit, and we'll have more room with the post route. I wish, maybe if there's somebody faster there, I wish we could rack that and turn and split the corner and the safety there. But unfortunately, they're just way too fast. You can catch it and gain an extra 2 or 3 yards, but that's really about it. And then what's great, this works against any flat. So whether you're curl or cloud, all it is just a bit different timing. See, in that case, I probably didn't need to do the possession catch. I probably could have caught it and turned up field a bit. Maybe if you're quick enough, you can juke that safety. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, what was that? 15, 20 yards? And then from there, if you're doing that, again, the point of this offense is to to stretch the field vertically and be able to have things underneath. If your user gets out there to stop that, you have more room underneath. So this really isn't just a matter of taking some of these fundamentals and then trying to run that every time, trying to force that every time. It's about being smart. And if it's there, you take it. If the defense is overcommitting, then you're going to have much more room underneath. So just like, I mean, what I showed you is a bit over exaggerated. I don't know if you'd go straight towards that route, but you could work to finesse that a bit. I believe you can also get more room if you fade Gin rather than putting him on the flat route. So let's check that one out. Okay, so that's probably your better option. So fade Gin, put your number 3 receiver, Antonio Brown, on a slant, and then you really don't have to, but motion Carmichael in and put him on a go route. And then you're just going to pass lead up, and that's close to 30 yards, guys. Let's throw it one more time before we move on to the next one. So I won't waste your time. You could probably just try that yourself. Put in your speedy receiver on the left wide receiver there, and then see if you can catch that and turn it upfield. Because I think you should be able to. Yeah, so that motion in Carmichael really does help there. So in that case, we really have to possession catch it. Again, against cover 4, this won't work so well because that post is going to run right into the safety. So you're really going to want to just got audibled here, but you're gonna want to turn it into that dig route. Okay, so just a quick recap. You have the one play touchdown here mixed with that, the really effective out route and that really effective post route with the outs play here for cover 3 press and cover 4 press. You can work in the inside switch here, which against cover 3, regardless of the press, you can get anywhere between 15 and 30 yards. And then, a small adjustment, you can make it work against the cover 4. Now, again, I showed you at the start there, just putting the number 2 receiver on a flat was nice, but putting him on the fade route opened up even more space because it, drives that cornerback further to the boundary. And then also motioning in the isolated wide receiver on the right and streaking him will push that free safety. And maybe if you fade him, it'll give you even more room. So if you do those, and then if you replace Calvin Johnson with Ted Ginn or Antonio Brown or whoever you have there, you could possibly split them and run it upfield. So anyway, the last one I want to go over is back to a play that I introduced in the last video, and that is out of the pistol spread fade smash. So what we want to do here, so this will work against cover 3 and cover 4, whether they're pressed or they're not pressed. So we'll go against just the regular cover 3 sky. And we'll want to run this. Again, the route of interest here is this kind of strange fade wheel route. What is it? I don't know, something in between there. But we want that route to the boundary, and we're simply going to motion him across. Remember what we were saying in the last video, how motion can be really useful to us? Well, here it is. So let me get off this guy. Okay. Pass rush is ferocious. So just like that. So you're gonna want to be patient with this one. What I like about this, I mean, you have really stellar cornerback play here. 91 zone across the board and a lot of speed too. Like Sean Taylor is probably the best safety in the game. But he's not going to notice your guy. So just have patience. And then outside and forward pass lead, bullet pass lead, and just hold that rat catch button, catch it, run for that touchdown. What's interesting about this is that once you motion this, again, remember when I was talking about how motion can also reveal a bit of the zone coverage? That's something you'll want to look into if you're kind of unsure if it's like if they're playing, if you think they might be playing cover 3 with the 2-man high before the snap. You could try to work that in and see if there's anything you can uncover. But yeah, so we want to throw the one-play touchdown to Antonio Brown. Really, the only way that you can stop that is to user that yourself, or hopefully a pass rush comes in or something like that. So if they user that, say with the Wagner here, and let's just do man coverage. We'll have this backside the post wide open. So that's always nice to have there. So we'll show it one more time. We'll do cloud flats. I don't know. Won't change anything. We'll even do press coverage. Put the safety back to where he belongs. And we'll run it. See, against press coverage, you have even more space. So I think a lot of these really good Madden players have been running press coverage, getting right up in your face, running those cloud flats to take away any corner routes or out routes. But up until that now, we've never really had a way of punishing that where we can have our speedy receivers flying off the line like that. So I showed you one with the other formation, and now here's another one. Okay, another thing we can add to this, what I really like is, so same thing, pistol spread. And if we go to a play like, which one is it? 60x option. And we're going to run this flipped. Actually, I just want to get Ted Ginn there. Just get a bit more speed. So we'll put Ted Ginn here. And we'll run the 60x option. And we'll go up against, same thing, cover 3 sky. So we'll do the exact same look where we're motioning Ted Ginn. But in this case, we're going to go for one play touchdown to the right side. So they might be expecting it to the left. So they might kind of start their user to that side to anticipate it. But in this case, we're actually going to the right. You also have this sharp route. You could leave it as a nice alternate route, just a nice crossing route, or you can just move them aside. It's up to you. Okay. Same thing there. Sometimes if your quarterback is really good like Dan Marino, you can add a high pass modifier or a high point modifier to your pass to get... It's nice because it gives you an extra few yards and it gives a weird little boost to the wide receiver too. So in a case where that safety or that corner is kind of neck and neck with him, every yard counts. So I think it like gives him a bit of an edge. So you can add that in there. But yeah, like I was saying, this motion is nice because you could run it the first time where you're attacking deep left, and then the second time you run it, they see the motion, oh, you must be doing it again, but you're going deep right. I think if you do a curl here, it holds that corner a bit better. Oops. So just like that. Now, as with a lot of this other stuff, these throws actually aren't easy to make. So you have to get that touch and you have to get that timing down. So if you want to be able to throw 60-yard touchdowns, go to the practice field, try it out a few times, get comfortable with it, so that you know when you take it to head-to-head, you'll hit on those opportunities. So we'll quickly wrap up with just against cover 4. We'll go with the fade smash first. Up against cover 4 drop show 2. Now this one's a bit tighter. Of course, you'll want to run this to preferably to the side where you see a slower free safety or slower strong safety. So something like that, you know, you really have to do the outside pass lead there. I think this play, unless maybe you're 50 or 40 yards away from the end zone, I don't think it'll get a touchdown every time. I think you'll just get, 50 yards or so, but, you know, that's good as it is. And then against press, I mean, it's just going to make it easier. So these people that really like to press and stop that run or really get up in your face. Yeah, that is one issue where you come across one of those middle linebackers. I mean, essentially, like, isn't that pass interference in a sense? Like, you're 6 yards down the field and they're just totally bumping you? I don't know. Yeah, like that's a penalty right there. Okay, and then on the other side, if we go back to that same play, the 60x option, flipped, we can hit him on the right side as well. Cover 4 drop show 2. Motion get across. Okay, just like that. So that time I had the high point modifier, but you don't really have to. Okay, so that's a few ways where we can bomb cover 3 and cover 4 for one play touchdowns, and then a few nice kind of intermediate routes as well to build off of that. So work that into the video I showed for cover 2, and really start to dominate your, the zone coverages that you come across in online head-to-head, and start to have a lot more fun playing this game. Okay, make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.